Item number 3, ordinances. Ordinance prohibit camping on public property and public right-of-way within the corporate city limits of Yuba City. Chief.
Thank you again, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and council members. You have before you a recommendation, or we're trying to modify the existing municipal code to prohibit camping on public property and public right-of-ways. Currently, city employees have been tasked with cleaning up campsites on public property and public right-of-ways. These cleanups expose city workers and citizens to hazardous conditions, including human infectious waste and other hazardous materials. Disposal of these materials is costly and hazardous both to the employees and the citizens. Some of the temporary and permanent campsites erected within the city limits, and we're only talking within the city limits, have been conducted in a fashion and at locations that make access by emergency personnel difficult during times of emergency. This puts the campers, campsite visitors, and emergency personnel at a greater risk if an injury, illness, accident, or disaster should occur. Currently, the City Municipal Code does not contain language addressing camping on public property or public right-of-ways beyond the river bottoms and the city parks. That's all that it addresses right now. The proposed ordinance contains comprehensive language to include all public property and all public right-of-ways. Camping is currently authorized at the Yuba Sutter Boat Docks Recreational Vehicle Campground and Marina, which is located at 82nd Street. No costs are associated with the implementation of the proposed ordinance. The alternatives are do not adopt the ordinance and provide staff with direction for modifying the proposed ordinance. And also we want to add the language that was added after we wrote this ordinance, and that's basically to include a sentence that said, when talking about the prohibition of camping throughout Yuba Sutter Boat Docks, to include, and as may be permitted within city parks by the City Parks and Recreation Director. Basically saying that if there's a special event that we want to have camping allowed for a certain type of function, that the Recreation Department Director would be able to have that authorization to have an exclusion for that. The recommendation is to rescind the ordinance number 05-97 pertaining to overnight camping in the Yuba City river bottoms and adopt a revised ordinance to be included in the Yuba City Municipal Code regarding camping within the corporate city limits of Yuba City. And with that, I'll entertain any questions.
Any questions for the chief?
Yes, through the mayor. Other cities have ordinances that also include private property. Was that looked at on this here, or is that something we'd have to come back and add to later if we decided to do that?
It is included in other city ordinances, but basically it's a separate ordinance that's separate and apart from this because there are two different issues that exist within it. It's something that we would definitely, at the council's direction, go back and entertain to look at, research. I know Darren Gell's currently looked at that. I was on the phone today talking to Roseville Police Department for a long period of time, getting the pros and cons of that, and that's something we would like to have discussed at our upcoming meetings and to possibly bring back to you for furtherance of something in that order.
I know we've had, at least I've heard concern from other private property owners where they've camped out on their properties too, and it's difficult to get rid of them. It's basically trespassing on their property, but there's nothing that would stop somebody from saying that we want to rent out camp spaces on a private piece of property either. So just it's something we should look at.
Absolutely agree with you. And the trespassing issue can generally be handled by the private property. If somebody's camping on your land illegally, that is a trespassing issue. It's a separate and apart from an ordinance. It's a state law.
All right. Thank you.
Any other questions for the chief? Okay. Now, what's the pleasure of the council?
I'd move for approval of this item.
Okay. Got a motion? Second.
Mr. Mayor, just as a point of clarification, does that motion include the recommendation of staff with the language change?
Yes, that does.
Thank you.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. No.
Aye.
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 Yeah, there is no public hearing on this. Next is public communication. You're welcome and encouraged to participate in this meeting. Public comment is taken on items listed on the agenda when they are called. Public comment on items not listed on the agenda will be heard at this time. Comments on controversial items may be limited, and large groups are encouraged to select representatives to express the opinions of the group.